Anthropic just released their newest model for coding. They call it Claude Sonnet 4.5. And in this video, I'm going to test it out in a real world scenario, which is building a full stack app. And also I'm going to compare it to its competitor. I think it is its closest competitor, which is from OpenAI, GPT-5 Codex. And we're going to be using both their tools. So for Claude, we're going to use the Claude Code, the newest version, which is the V2. And from Codex, they have the Codex CLI and also the IDE extension. Oh, and also Claude Code just released the newest IDE extension that is not just the terminal. Now it actually has a good UI, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks like and how the experience is. So looking at the article on the official website, Sonnet 4.5 has a better benchmark than the rest of the, coding models, which is of course typical of these providers or these like AI companies, because of course they're going to put their own model on the top. That's why I mostly just don't believe it. That's why I always just test it out myself, building an app or two, or like just using it day to day. I did some testing when it was released like a couple of days ago. I think it was on that day when it was released. I tested it out on Cursor. I just did some planning, did a little bit of coding, and honestly, like I don't feel any difference, like as in terms of like day-to-day usage, but it was very quick to reach the limit on Cursor, which I was very disappointed about because I used to be a fan of Claude Code. I mean, I'm still am, but yeah, their plans, bro, like the rate limits are very low. That's why I switched. Like I didn't use Claude Code anymore, but this is going to be unbiased and I'm going to be using the API key for Claude Code because I'm not on their plan. But for Codex, I'm going to try on the ChatGPT Plus plan, which I think like most people already have. So yeah, why not? Anyway, so the test that I'm going to be doing is building a full stack app, and I'm going to be using my usual workflow for creating AI apps or like any apps in general with AI coding, which is a spec driven development approach that will involve 5 steps. The first step, of course, most important, is getting the docs, which is the planning stage. What I do there, I just brainstorm with an AI usually. But in this case, I'm going to use Codeguide, and at the end, I'll be generating docs for the app itself to explain the project. And that is how I do context engineering and also get the specs and everything set up. So the AI, which is like Claude Code and Codex, will be able to understand what the project is and have less hallucinations, hopefully, and make a better product in the end. So yeah, I'll go through that. The first step I always do actually, is plan. I think about the app and I use Codeguide for that. You can, if you don't use Codeguide, what I used to do before, I used to have like a system prompt that I use, which I just put in like any like AI that is currently like the best thinking model, which could be like Gemini or like GPT or like O4, whatever, right? And what I do, I just chat with the assistant or like with the AI, and then I come up with like the best document. But Codeguide actually simplifies that into 4 simple steps now, which involves just an initial prompt from us, which for me, what I found best was if you just tell it the main idea and then just tell your problem, just, give a little bit of story about like what the user flow is going to be like, the core features, and also like the tech stack. If you have a specific tech stack that you always prefer, and of course you can give any details that you want that will be added into the docs later on. So, and I'll be also using a starter kit. The starter kit comes with a tech stack that I always use. I love using. It's Next.js, Tailwind, ShadCN with, it doesn't say here, but there's Drizzle and Postgres. And yeah, so that's the first step. You just make the prompt, and then the second step on Codeguide, they will ask you, like the AI will actually try to clarify these specs and like try to get everything, like minimizing the hallucinations by filling in these gaps that they will require to generate the docs and get the best quality. So yeah, these are like some of the questions. This is just a little bit of like user related questions, or like yeah, it's not that technical, but there are sometimes like technical questions if you don't provide like a tech stack and things like that. And of course, yeah, it's just 10 questions, and then we can proceed to the next step, which is like you just review everything and then you generate an outline. This outline will be showing like the core features that is like proposed to you based on your initial prompt and questions, and you can also like regenerate if you want, if it's not up to your standard. And yeah, there's also the app flow, which is like it's a very good like basis for your app, and like to know how the user will interact with the app and like which pages will exist, things like that. You can also adjust that tech stack. You can just add it in or like remove it. In here there's Drizzle, Postgres, and everything, and that will be read by the AI agent, and then like it will generate the docs according to that. So there will be like database schema on Postgres, things like that. Now, of course, the documents, which is there's some that is like optional, but I usually just opt for everything to get like the maximum context, and then later on, we can like just refer to each one if we were to like specify what feature or whatever like we're talking about with the AI agent on our local machine. So yeah, the last step would be creating the docs, and then I just generate all. That's what I do. And then there's going to be tasks that will be generated, which is like implementation tasks on like the things that the AI should do to get everything set up, which is based on the docs itself, which is a very handy feature. And now, if you are done with generating the docs, you can just copy this prompt easily, and then like, or if you're using like a web-based tool like Bolt and everything, you can also just choose, you can copy the prompt and generate a unified document that will make it easier to implement to different tools on the web-based platform that doesn't really like have full support for attaching many docs. So anyway, let's proceed to the next step, which is the starter kit. So with the starter kit, I am using this full stack one, which I love using because it doesn't have any like dependencies. Like you don't have to create a account on like Superbase and like Plug, which is really good if you're trying to self-host everything. And yeah, what I usually do and why I use a starter kit is because I don't want to have the hassle of like setting everything up, installing everything. You can use AI for that, but it's just slower. And there is this alternative, which is like instant, and there's like almost no errors. I mean, yeah, like 10 times out of 10, there's no errors like when you set these up. And for this app, it's gonna be a business finance tracker. Oh, I already made it. Okay, let's make it like assistant or whatever, right? So make it longer. Okay, now it exists. I'll make it public so I can share the source code to you guys, and you can see the final result. But how I'm gonna be doing this is I'll make this repo, and then on my local machine, I'm gonna make two directories, one for Claude Sonnet 4.5, where I'll be running Claude code for creating the apps and everything. And the other directory, which will be for Codex, is gonna be running on the Codex CLI or the IDE that I'll be showing you guys. So anyway, I'll just clone it first, and yeah, so the next step would be to set everything up on your local environment, which is, it says here local setup. Just clone your repo and add the docs. But all right, so I've already cloned and copied the directory. So now we have one for Claude and also for Codex. And on Codex, here you can see there's an extension here, and also this is the terminal. For Claude, this is the new extension that they made with the UI. And of course, there's also the OG, but now it's on version 2.0, and it's using Claude 4.5 Sonnet. And in here, you can also see it is using the default, which is 4.5. And in here, I'm going to be using Codex High just to make things interesting. So you might be asking like, okay, how do I implement the docs? Okay, so I'll just show you guys. I just copied this prompt for the agent. And this works on any agent. It can be on Cursor or like any agent that's on your local machine, pretty much. And yeah, we can just copy it. For this, I'm gonna be using the IDE just to show you guys how it looks like. Okay, and I'm gonna press this, and on Claude, I'm gonna also do that. There we go. And we'll just wait. So yeah, I just want to give you like a quick visualization of like how the loading and everything goes. Okay, I don't think I have enabled YOLO mode here, but okay. Yes, don't ask again. Okay, so here it is So here I see more things like going on. Here's just loading, I guess. Oh, there is this. Okay, I didn't notice that. Okay, as you can see, like I just want to show you how the whole code guide implementation works. So code guide actually has a CLI on npm, and then when we add the prompt, the agent actually is gonna install the code guide CLI and then interact with the code guide via the commands. And as you can see, it gets the context, like the project title and everything. And then when it runs project docs or like code guide docs, that will actually add the docs. As you can see, this is like modified because there was a previous starter kit template documentation. But yeah, this is like, as you can see, it is now the actual docs that we're going to be using, which is the finance tracker. There we go. It's the finance tracker. There you go, business finance tracker app. Okay, and then yeah, it's gonna be finished, and let's see Codex. Okay, I need to approve it, and it's gonna be doing the same thing, and then you'll be able to see. Also, it's gonna add all the docs and all the information, the agents.md, things like that, and also the tasks. You can see Codex has also finished implementing the docs from Codeguide through the CLI. And yeah, it's gonna be this exact same docs. So yeah, I'm just showing you guys that it works for like pretty much any agents. And here is the result. Like it just shows the setup, and yeah, it just compacts everything, and you can see the what it did. And also on Claude, it's a bit different where it is by default, like you can see everything pretty much. It's not compacted. Okay, so once all the docs have been implemented in the directory of the starter kit, I will just start prompting it like in the workflow. So this is the fourth step, and I just mentioned the docs and also enter the instructions. So what I do, I just have this predefined prompt, like just refer to the documentation directory and start building the app. It's that simple. I don't want to make it too complicated. They will figure things out. They're smart enough to do that. And yeah, let's just start it on Claude Code. As you can see, Claude Code V2 on Sonnet 4.5. Let's see how good it is. Let's go. And then it's going to start. All right. And then I'll just move it here so you'll have a better view. Nice. And it's starting. So now I will do the same on Codex. I'm using GPT-5 Codex High, and it is already set up. Let's see. Okay. Just do that. Oh, okay. I'm reaching my weekly limit. Okay. I guess, yeah, I mean, it's almost going to reset anyway. So yep, we'll let that run, and yeah, I usually just wait until everything finishes, and then I'll test it out, and yeah, I'll be back. Finally, both the agent has finished, so Codex, Claude Code has finished, and from the get-go, I chose GPT-5 Codex High, which should be like the thinking model and, you know, like the top of the line, but it took so long to make the whole app compared to Claude Code. So that's just one comment I want to make. Like Claude Code with Sonnet 4.5 took probably like 10 minutes, and I just left it going for Codex, and it was still going for like probably up to like 20 or so minutes. So yeah, that's just a comment I want to make, like my impression on it for this specific app. But yeah, let's see the result. Okay, so Sonnet, this is Sonnet. As you can see, I made the port 3090 for the Claude Sonnet 4.5. As you can see, there's an error, but of course we can just copy that and actually just fix it while we wait until that finishes. We will just run. Okay, so it started running. So this is the one Codex did, GPT-5 Codex, GPT-5 Codex High. And let me tell you, the UI is looking great. Like the colors, like I actually mentioned it in the docs. It was green, so it was following the docs. And there's this landing page which has a pretty good, like, yeah, it's an okay landing page. You can see it's like very simplistic. It's very looks AI generated. But yeah, it is like there are some like contrast issues here and there. But yeah, I mean, let's see if it's working in terms of like the auth and stuff. Okay, so the auth. Let me just try to like sign up first. I just want to point out a little bit of issue here. There is like contrast issue is very noticeable. So I think what happened is that I'm on dark mode, but it's forcing the colors to be like blue. I mean, sorry, white and green. So, but it's in dark mode, so they didn't, they didn't know that maybe the font will be white. So yeah, it is looking very bad. Okay, let me see. Okay, is that wrong? I can't see what I wrote, honestly. Oh, okay. USD. There we go. Create a workspace as work. Yes, it works. Okay, so nice. So and if you're wondering, this I'm using Drizzle for everything for the database migration and also the schema, as you can see here, and the ORM. And I just ran the migration to the DB dev, which is already included in the starter kit. As you can see in the package, there's a DB dev. It's already all sorted out. There's a Docker compose for the dev database. So yeah, I just had it running and it's going fine, you know. So that's why it's already working. Okay, so there's an error here and the assistant is working, but the color scheme is just so bad. I mean, I think I might have to switch to like light mode so that it is visible. But yeah, let me see if this has been fixed on the Claude side. Okay, so it seems that Sonnet 4.5 has finished the issue that was making me not be able to test the app. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so this is like the default starter kit landing page, which is fine. I mean, like, I don't think I asked for like a landing page. So yeah, let's just get started. Okay, it asked me to sign up. Let me just sign up. So it was able to sign up, and this is the onboarding flow, which is like creating your business. Let's see. We'll just yeah, Claude, whatever. Fiscal year 20, whatever, 11, 2025. And currency will be USD. So this is the UI itself, like they actually like Claude Sonnet 4.5 got it correctly. I don't know what happened with like Codex, like it messes up with the like I don't think it knows that like the font is not working, like it's not the correct color. Okay, so this is the first screen, which is what I wanted, and it was on the user flow on the docs. I mentioned it in my initial prompt. That is, the app should be like a finance tracker for my business where I just chat with the assistant and then it actually tracks what expenses or income that I mentioned. And also it will create insights and save everything to the database via like function calls. And I told it to use OpenAI. So yeah, let's see if it is working. It does provide me some example. Let's see if I can just copy it and see if that works. Okay, yeah, let me do that. So yeah, the UI is okay. Like it has the primary color of green, which I asked for. Okay, that's nice. So the function call actually works on Sonnet 4.5 straight away. And yeah, this was just based on the docs. And as you can see, so this doesn't refresh properly, I think. Like it's not like refetching or anything. Let me just refresh. Okay, I don't think it is saving then, right? It told me it did, but okay, yeah, so I think this is like some of it's like dummy data, but yeah, I'll make sure. Yeah, sorry, I'm such a dummy. Like it told me, it literally just asked me like what method it was, and I didn't mention it. That's why it probably didn't save. So let's see. Yeah, I use my debit, see if that works. So yeah, there's a bit of a bug here on the UI. It just it's overflowing. But let's see. It does look like yeah. I can't yeah save. Like how can I? Yeah, bro, this is unusable. So I'm just gonna like prompt again. But like anyways, like Codex. Yeah, it is not even loading anything. So I'm also gonna prompt this to fix it and we'll see so we can have like fair comparison. Okay, good news guys. The Sonnet 4.5 model has finished fixing the bugs. It was only like 3 to 5 prompts I've added on top of my original prompt. And yeah, the bug was mostly just the UI. Like it was just unusable. I just separated it. Now it's on a separate page, which is nice. And the dashboard, bro, it looks nice. Even though this is like using the starter kit dashboard, like the template, which I do want it to do, instead of creating a whole new dashboard, just like what Codex did, which is very annoying and it is still broken. So yeah, Codex, I just gave up. Like I gave so much prompts and it's still broken. Like the chat feature doesn't even work. Whereas on Sonnet 4.5 on Claude Code, it does work. And as you can see, I already input some data and I can just test it out again for you guys. Got paid like yeah, $80 from a client yesterday or like 2 days ago. Let's see how much thinking that the AI will do. So yeah, it will just okay. So it'll ask like a confirmation. Yeah, it's from Jack, whatever. Jack. He paid via Venmo. Okay, and yeah, this is collapsible. So this is using like the template from the starter kit. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the test works. Yeah, I mean the system prompt does need a little bit of work, but that's just you know, just prompt it out again. And yeah, I just wanted to show you guys like a quick MVP, like very rough MVP. Like this is using better auth. It's already logged in and everything. And yeah, it's as you can see, it has submitted the data to the database, and this is the Visual Studio. So you can see the actual data in the database, which is using Postgres. The income, here it is. There we go. That's from Jack. Bank transfer, $80. Yep. Not that complex. Last 3 months. Yeah, this is working fine. And this is the table. So yeah, it is. Okay, let me check. Does this actually work? It does work. Wow, okay, that is interesting. So yeah, so some of the feature already works. I think that is all the feature actually. I don't know if oh, that actually looks pretty nice. All right. So yeah, you can see the incomes. Wow, okay. You can see like Sonnet 4.5 is really good at these logics and like just understanding what you actually want. Unlike Codex, like literally, bro, it's still broken. Like when I go here, yeah, okay, you have a landing page or whatever, right? But when I sign in, yeah, admin, okay, at least, bro, okay, I put my password wrong. Okay, at least now it's fixed, like the UI issue is fixed. But yeah, like I can't even load the summary or like the dashboard because the API is like, there's an error in the API. And I already did like several prompts and it's not fixing it. I switched different models, it's not fixing it. So I'm just giving up. And yeah, like Sonnet 4.5 is obviously in this scenario, of course, yeah, it's a better option, especially since I am using a starter kit, which I expected to actually understand and, you know, actually follow the doc and follow the starter kit instead of making a whole new like dashboard and chat page and everything. So yeah, so I just want to quickly show you guys what it came up with. So it was a very simple app. So this is the docs. I want to just compare the docs to the actual implementation that was implemented by both Sonnet and also Codex. So yeah, as you can see, the onboarding was on point with Sonnet. It was very simple, but yeah, I didn't really ask for that much. I just wanted a very simple flow, which was like us asking a business name and like the currency and everything. And yeah, and it was sign up work. I didn't ask for a landing page, so it was using like a default starter kit landing page, whereas Codex for some reason made one. So that was a bit of a hallucination, but yeah, like the dashboard, it was showing the dashboard, which is nice, and also the data was already connected to the database. There was just some little bit of dummy data, which I then removed from the like a quick one prompt. So yeah, and then this is the page transition where there's a chat function, and then yeah, it says like I spend blah blah blah, and it'll automatically save it, which works. The system prompt just needs fine tuning, but yeah, it's good. And yeah, it is being saved. There's a chart and everything, the settings and manage. I didn't test this out, but I mean that's very like not the core feature, but anyways, yeah, that's actually pretty much it. That's the whole journey. Like it's very simple app, and yeah, just overall like Sonnet 4.5. I've always been a fan of like the results from Sonnet, sort of Sonnet 4.0, but Sonnet 4.5, I don't see like a major leap in like, you know, advancement, but I still love it like for as a coding model, and I still think it's like the best coding model before, of course, like Opus 4.1. But yeah, the price is just too expensive, and the Claude Code plan itself is like the limits in my opinion. Like Pro plan is very low, so obviously like opt for the Max plan. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Yeah, that's just my review of Sonnet 4.5 based on this real world test, and also yeah, just my little bit of experience like using Codex and also like other different models and Sonnet 4.5 this past few days. So yeah, that's my final verdict. So if you are looking for the best coding model or to use for coding, I do highly recommend Sonnet 4.5. And if you are looking for a good workflow to make your AI code or yeah, make your AI agent code better, I suggest you use a spec-driven development like myself with a lot of planning. Okay, hope this video helps you. And yeah, if you have any comments or feedback, just leave it down in the comments below. Thank you.